Pareidolia is the tendency for humans to recognize any sort of facial features that may appear in complete randomness or in nature. The stains that appeared on Maria's concrete kitchen floor one day cannot be explained by pareidolia alone. Hi, my name is Yasmin and I'll be making videos about anything that's a little bit scary or disturbing in nature. So if you're interested, then please subscribe and like my video. And here is the rest of it. In August of 1971, in a village called Belmez in Spain, Maria Gomez Camara just went into her kitchen one day, and as she looked at her concrete floor in the kitchen, she just started to notice that there was this sort of mottled appearance of this stain. And there was no reason why she had a stain there. There was no spillage. She didn't have young children that could have been drawing on the floor. It was all just a bit of a mystery, but she did what anyone would do, and she got some cleaning products and she just started scrubbing the floor quite hard, but the stain just would not budge. In fact, she even left it for a couple of days, and every time she went back to it, it just started growing darker and it started forming a face. Her husband Juan and her son Miguel were totally freaked out by this and they wanted it gone. They didn't even bother with cleaning products, they just started to pickaxe the floor and they removed that section of the floor that had the face that was forming. They then poured some new concrete there and everything was pretty good. They were pretty happy it was gone now. It was just some strange anomaly that happened. But a week later, the face came back and it was the same face that was there the first time round. But not only that, there were other faces that came with it this time. These faces would just come and go over time as well. Within hours they'd change. Because of how strange this was, word got around town and people wanted to start seeing the faces. They started lining up on weekends to just have a look at the kitchen floor to see whether it was real or not. And the house became so famous that it was called La Casa de la Caras, which means the House of Faces. Due to the number of people wanting to see this meant that Maria may have been gaining some sort of monetary benefit from this, and it made people quite skeptical. It made people think that she was actually maybe painting the faces on the floor or even somehow altering the chemical composition of the concrete so that she could form these faces. And because of this, the mayor got involved and prevented them from destroying the second face that appeared. And what they did was they got the ICV involved as well, which is part of the Spanish National Research Council, which is a legitimate organization. And they removed the second face from the floor and mounted it on a wall behind some plexiglass so that no one could actually change it in any way. They also sent a piece of it along to a lab so that they could analyze it chemically as well. During the time in which the floor was being analyzed, the ICV actually ordered the floor to be covered in plexiglass so that nobody could tamper with the flooring, but they also got the windows and walls covered with wax so that no one could come inside, and there was constant surveillance of the area as well. So there was a notary always present, making sure that Maria or her family members weren't coming in and just painting pictures on the floor. The area was under surveillance for 3 months, and by this time the ICV results had also come back. They showed that there was absolutely no evidence of any paint on the sample that they had tested. They also removed the plexiglass off the floors, they removed all the wax off the windows and the walls, and found that there were new faces, but the old ones had new expressions as well. So things had changed, but again, no one can explain it because nobody was allowed in the area. And this led to them just digging into the kitchen floor. So they dug about 2.8 meters into the ground, and what they found there was just completely unexpected. They found human remains, but these human remains had no skulls, not a single one of them. They removed the skeletons and they laid them to rest in a different location. Then they re-concreted the whole kitchen floor. From this point on, they didn't expect any more faces to keep coming up because they removed the human remains and they re-concreted it so that it was just a clean new slate. But they were wrong, obviously. Faces kept appearing, and they actually kept appearing for the next 30 years. Once a month at least, for the rest of Maria's life. Sadly, Maria passed away in 2004. After Maria's death, the faces did continue to reappear, but people checked the chemical composition of these faces and paint was found with these. About 10 years after Maria's death in 2014, a chemical engineer named Jose Javier Garcia came back to analyze the original faces of the Belmez household. But basically, long story short, he couldn't find any evidence of paint or any other substances either. Now, there are a couple of theories as to what may have led to this phenomena to happen in the first place. The first theory being thortographic hypothesis. So Maria, during her life, was a psychic, and thortography is when someone can burn an image from their mind onto a surface. And people think that maybe Maria was able to do this throughout her life, which can explain why the images that appeared after her death contained paint. And the other theory is the forgery hypothesis. So this is the theory that Maria just made it all up. She did this all for financial gain, and she somehow found a way to paint these images onto her floor and it not be detected as being paint. No one knows for sure still what caused this phenomena to happen in the first place. That was the story of the Belmez faces. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.